Drivers of diesel vehicles could be charged £12.50 to get into the Birmingham city centre under new plans to cut pollution.
It's one idea being discussed to ensure the city meets air quality targets from Europe, which we're not even close to achieving at the moment. Stacey Foster reports.
Broad Street, Birmingham. One of the city's most polluted areas. The huge number of vehicles is being blamed. But in 5 years from now, any of the vehicles using this road that are diesels could be charged £12.50 just to get into the city. It's all to help clean up the air that we breathe. Campaigners say 500 deaths a year in Birmingham are linked to poor air quality.
It's been referred to as a kind of a silent killer, and because it's not obvious to people and it's not very black or smoggy, then we don't necessarily realise what's happening. But nonetheless, it is a very serious problem that we, up till recently, we just haven't been talking about, never mind tackling.
The government's under pressure from Europe to cut air pollution. It's asking councils to consider introducing low emission zones or even to ban the most polluting vehicles altogether to ultimately save lives.
I don't think you should ban diesel cars. I think you should put the money behind alternative transport, public transport.
It's not our choice that they run on diesel, is it? You know what I mean?
Initially you think you'd be annoyed about it, but I suppose we've all got to think about the environment. And
if you've bought a diesel car, I don't see why it should be restricted any more than petrol cars. But
well, we have to look at the sources, and the one that can be dealt with most easily is road traffic, and especially in relation to nitrogen dioxide, which is the pollutant that's stimulated the government to bring out these latest recommendations, where really the big problem is with diesel emissions. Then it depends on the age of the car, but diesels are somewhere around 10 times worse than petrol cars.
Last month, the cost of a litre of diesel dropped below that of petrol, and it's expected to fall further. But that'll be little consolation to drivers of diesels if a new tax is just on the horizon. Stacey Foster, ITV News, Birmingham.
Stacey joins us now. Stacey, what would the impact be to drivers if this really does happen?
Well, Steve, I'm going to use myself as an example on this one. My commute in my diesel car currently costs me about £10 a day in fuel. Reporting around the Midlands, though, I do need to use my car, but I'm always in the city centre at some point. So the £12.50 tax or fine or whatever it might be called for diesel cars would more than double my commuting costs fuel-wise at the moment. It'd be exactly the same for other people like plumbers, tradesmen, delivery drivers, and what about taxis as well? But if it does happen, it's not expected to come in until 2020. So drivers will be given plenty of notice.
So, Stacey, given we're talking about 2020 at the earliest, is it really likely to happen?
Well, the government is under a lot of pressure at the moment to come up with a plan on air quality by the end of the year, and it's putting the onus onto councils to make it happen. It's already happening in London. The most polluting vehicles are charged for going into so-called low emission zones, but that's quite big money, between £100 and £200 a day. Most vehicles wouldn't match the criteria for that. But Birmingham City Council says it is doing enough. It's not ruled anything else at the moment. They don't even know how many diesel vehicles are coming into the city every day, but they are helping out with putting electric charging points in and things like that. And they're also trying to help taxi drivers convert their engines into greener vehicles, LPG engines as well. We've been getting your feedback on what you think about this today. Lots of you have been getting in touch on Facebook and on Twitter as well. Mark from Walsall tweeted us to say, modern brand new diesels are not big polluters compared to older cars. Once again, it's a tax on motorists. Matt Walker from Birmingham got in touch as well. He said, see how that goes down with the taxi drivers. Pat from Leicester on our Facebook page thinks it's disgraceful. A few years back, they were virtually begging us to buy diesel cars, he says. And the final word tonight goes to Tabs, who says, what about the buses? We pay tax, insurance, etc. What's this money for? What's next? Getting charged to walk? Who knows? Thanks to everyone who got in touch.
Stacey, thank you very much indeed. Police are appealing for information